it was exhilarating, wasn't it?
It was exhilarating. Very happy that we were able to do it. And we loved the response of the audience, and they all looked so happy when we were waving to them at the end.
When we originally did Bolero, it was a tragic love story. But tonight, I think it was a celebration
happier story.
Happy event tonight.
It was one of the UK's most watched television moments in history. Over 24 million people tuned in to watch Jane Torvill and Christopher Dean break history with a perfect score of sixes in the 1984 Winter Olympics. Well, now 40 years later, and the ice dancing duo have returned to Sarajevo.
We're in the place where we performed Bolero and won the Olympic gold medal, which was, our launch pad for the next 40 years, basically. So this Sarajevo, and particularly in Zetra Arena, is so special.
Yeah, certainly walking into the middle of the floor there, brings back the memories. Like, this is surreal, because this is where we took our positions and kneeled down to start the Bolero for the final in '84, and we're standing on that very spot. And then we could sort of see where the judges would be. Our parents were over there.
The scoreboard where the marks came up.
Yeah. And it's here they've revealed their retirement from dancing together and announced one final tour.
Next year, 2025, is our 50th year of skating together, half a century, which is, even when I say it,
it's a long time.
It's a long time. But, and I think it's the right time for us to want to do our last celebration tour around the country. And where there'll be a lot of nostalgia. We'll be doing some of the old favourites and some new favourites, and bringing along the friends that we've met along the way.
We just hope that people will come along and celebrate with us, because the tour is a celebration of our careers, really.
And it's the last time.
And the last dance.
Torvill and Dean used their time in the city to skate with some youngsters on the rink next to where they won gold. 16-year-old Henna was one of those who spent time with the couple.
It's unbelievable. I couldn't even sleep this night. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna meet Torvill and Dean. And when I got on the ice, I was like, oh my God, they're on the same ice as me. So it's a really great opportunity to meet them.
Torvill and Dean will sign off from dancing together with one final tour next year.
I think early on in our training, we were always conscious of matching and leg lines and arm positions, and obviously timing was very important. And we'd spend hours just getting one edge right, wouldn't we, of a compulsory dance, as we did in those days.
We would break things down and build things up. And Jane had the patience of a saint with me, I think.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, I did.
He's a lot calmer now. He's mellowed in his old age. So.
Of course, we're going to be celebrating Jane Torvill and Christopher Dean all on BBC Radio Nottingham today.
First this lunchtime, Nottingham's ice skating legends Jane Torvill and Christopher Dean have announced their final ever live tour on a return trip to Sarajevo to mark 40 years since winning gold. Dancing Bolero at the Sarajevo Winter Olympics in 1984, the pair won Great Britain's first ever ice skating gold medal. To mark the occasion, they've been back to the city that made them household names. And they've also been with Anne.
They have indeed, because as they've both said, it was here in Sarajevo that their lives changed forever, and looking round this magnificent city hall is not surprising really. But there's more change on the way too, because the pair have announced their retirement.
It's 50 years of skating together. 2025 will be our 50th year, and we just think it's time. It's not going to be a sad thing for us. We want it to be a celebration. 50 years is a really good number. It's half a century of skating.
Stop saying that.
Half a century of skating, and we've done so much in that time, and we feel really sort of it's time and complete.
Well, at least they're not retiring just yet, so still a chance for some to see them one last time. And still a chance for the next generation to be inspired. Inspired, like every generation really since 1984, to take up skating. Angela Rafferty looks back now at their extraordinary legacy.
It was at the old ice rink. I was pretty wowed by it. I remember thinking that this was an absolutely massive place. I'd never been to anything like it before. And then when I saw them on ice in these blades, I was kind of like, what is that? And I just thought it was amazing, and they had these costumes on and they were whizzing around and he was lifting her up, and I was just quite, amazed by it.
So began a love affair with skating that has lasted her lifetime.
I competed up until I was about 15, 16, and then I just wanted to travel the world and do shows, a bit like Torvill Dean.
She got her wish, working around the world, doing what she loved best.
So we're going to do 10 forwards crossovers, clockwise now, turn to backwards with a mohawk, 10 backwards crossovers. Right, so let's do
Now Katie's back where it all first started. Inspiration for her coaching, very close at hand.
Their performance was so innovative and sort of ahead of its time, and you just could see the beauty and the art of skating in that performance, and just even the costumes, which obviously we have in the entrance, which I love to see. They did do so much for the sport, and even now, all my skaters have seen Bolero, they know all about it. I think they've just done so much for the art and the beauty of the sport.
Not bad for a policeman and an insurance clerk who wowed the world with what they could do on ice.
He choreographed it as well. I mean, nowadays you have a huge team behind you all working on individual things, but the fact that he was a police officer, but then he's choreographed this incredible Olympic performance, it was amazing.
And
they've been back to the city that made them household names.
It did open lots of doors for our future, and we never realised that we'd still be skating this far ahead.
It launched us, into the world, and who would have known 40 years later that we're still skating, we're still doing some form of Bolero.
Tickets for their last ever live UK tour, Torvill Dean, Our Last Dance, have gone on sale now. In other